Another month, another visit to Kent to film our favourite pigeon shooter. The days are getting longer and the crops are in the ground. So all should be well in Crowman's world. But as we would soon discover, the local pigeon population has been causing visible damage to the new Lucerne shoots. So with his trusty Labrador in tow, Andy heads to the worst affected areas to try and make a difference. First though, Andy spots a hazel crown that is just perfect for cutting some do-it-yourself decoy sticks.
As you can see, this is hazel crown, and out of the crown you get lots of suckers that come out, and this is some of them. Ideal for making sticks for putting pigeons up. Just cut them to whatever length you want. I tend to do some long ones, especially on this sort of size. Cut them that sort of size, sharpen the point up, and that goes right through the bird. And I'll show you in a minute when we're setting up. It's mainly for real ones. We're here a bit early, so I can never rely on you turning up on time. So I've got you here early so that we can do these little bits. So yeah, I'm just cutting a few sticks while we've got a bit of time. But we've got a bit of a walk ahead of us as well. So just thought I found this nice crown here. There's loads of straight ones. So I'll get a few cuts. So when we get some live pigeons, we can just stick them up. So I bought a few that I shot 10 or a dozen in the wood last night flighting, so I prefer having real ones to anything else. I've got a few silo socks in there as well, so just to put in there to make the pattern up till we get a few real ones in, and then we go from there. We've done a long trek down here with all the gear. I've been watching them. They tend to be making for a big ash tree here. They make that ash tree at the other end, but the way the wind is, what wind there is coming from the north, so it's going to be behind us. So I've opted to come down here. We're going to stand here for a little bit, 10-15 minutes, and see what's happening. But as soon as you get down this end of the field, where the other end of the field, the Lucerne was looking quite good, but you get down this end of the field and you can see the main stalks that are coming up. They've grazed those off, they've taken those off, and all the new shoots, they're taking those off at the moment. So this is what I have been congregating quite a lot here. So, but like I say, there's no wind today, but we're here to do a job, and that's what I intend to do. So
the hide is tucked into the front of a small block of woodland, which creates fantastic natural camouflage. The wind isn't strong, but it is showing a clear direction, crossing from left to right in front of the hide. Andy sets his pattern directly out in front, with the closest decoy about 12 yards from the hide and the furthest at around 25 yards. He's used a mixture of shot birds and scilla socks to fill out the pattern and create gentle movement. He places one whirly on the far left and one on the far right to catch the birds' attention as they fly past.
Went out last night, shot 10 pigeons, well, shot a few more, but I brought 10 nice ones along, well, fairly nice ones along for decoys today. I've got some of my own homemade cradles I've got there. I've got some scilla socks, just going to bung those into the pattern. Down on the right hand side, because they show up quite well. But as we shoot real ones, I prefer real ones to anything else. As soon as I shoot a few real ones, fresh real ones, I'll bring the scilla socks in and use mainly real ones. But the hazel sticks that I'll cut up the other end, what I usually do, go in the back end, just feel it goes right the way up past the spine, up through the breastbone in the crop, into its head, like that. I'll break their wings. I tend to break their wings. And then if there is a bit of a breeze, they tend to flap in the wind, break them in 2 or 3 places. It doesn't take a lot to, as you can see, doesn't take a lot to get them to move. It's hardly any wind at all today, so, but no, just have them and just sit them in the ground as so, like that.
It's a neat setup designed to draw birds from all angles and with a wide enough arc of fire to safely make the most of every opportunity.
Right, we're just having a bit of a tidy up. Fill the pattern in out here a bit, try and draw the pigeons up straight in front of the hide so it makes it easier for filming. Trying to get the pigeons to come past us a bit. Yeah, it's always better when you've got fresh ones out there anyway. So just going to have a set up now.
A number of viewers have left great questions in the comments after the last few films, and we thought it would be good to pick a selection each month and get you some answers from the man himself.
So we have questions from your fans after the last show. Someone asked why you are not shooting the feral pigeons, but we've just realised they're not feral.
There was some ferals in that video, but there was quite a lot of stock doves there as well. The ferals, we was there to do a job, and that was shooting the crows that day. I did come back 2 days later and shot the ferals. That was the reason.
Do you ever change your cartridge depending on what you're shooting, or do you generally stick with the clear pigeon?
As a rule, I stick to the clear pigeon. Got a lot of confidence in it. I love the cartridge, and always pays to stick to the same cartridge if you can. Occasionally, if I'm shooting high flighted pigeons, or if they're feeding on acorns or something where they've got big crops of acorns, I might go to pigeon extreme. And as for pheasants, I might just go for and use black gold. But like I say, 90% of my shooting is done with the clear pigeon.
And when we were shooting crows on the last show, that was the same shot size as you used for pigeons?
Yeah, it was clear pigeon, 5 wad. So that's what I use. So
someone asked why you weren't using a crow caller in the last video, because he thinks they're pretty effective.
It's definitely right, they are effective, I will say that. But I've never been really good with a crow caller, so that's the reason. That is the only reason I don't use it. Yeah, they are effective and they're worth using, but I haven't really mastered how to use them. So.
Fair enough.
But no, that's fair enough. So.
And last question, someone asked where you get your winter coloured nets.
Most of my nets, I get them from UK Shoot Warehouse. As you can see on this net here, it's got green backing. A lot of them have got black backing, which I don't like. When the net, they look into it, it's black. The black is the most dominant colour, whereas the green is the most dominant colour in this net. But the actual net that I'm using today, which I use most of the time, was a bespoke one which a friend made for me, and it's made out of old ghillie suits, and it's really time consuming, takes a long time. But no, it's a good net, but I've got so many different coloured nets, and this one is ideal for this time of year, so that's the reason I use it.
So if you have a pigeon poser or a corvid conundrum that you've always wanted to ask Andy, just leave it in the comments. After a strong start, the action slows down considerably. The smug smiles begin to fade, and for a while it looks as if our bumper day has turned into a flop. But suddenly, as if the gods of shooting have heard our prayers and decided to take pity, the sun appears in all its glory and the pigeons return with a vengeance.
We were thinking about giving up about 10 minutes ago, but as we was getting out the hide, pigeons started coming in, so we thought, right, give it another half an hour, so that's what we're doing.
If today has taught us one thing, it's that even with Andy's years of experience, the movements and habits of wood pigeons can be hard to predict, and it's often worth sticking around a little longer if they don't appear when you expect them to. For the past few days, these pigeons have been dropping in for their afternoon feed at least 2 hours earlier than they did today, and had we packed up when we'd originally planned, the final bag would be literally half the size. Luckily, something made us stay. Blind hope and bloody-mindedness perhaps, but by the time we left, Andy had accounted for around 60 pigeons. It's a job well done and the crop is safe for today, but there's no rest for the wicked, and Andy will return to the same field over the coming weeks to ensure that this crop has the best chance of flourishing.